you're probably talking too much in a lot of circumstances, and maybe you can control that. And so this is kind of a way of defending yourself in an environment where people will tend to see you as weak if you can't have any self-control.
When I first started out, there was no internet, people taking pictures of you and putting your personal life or exploiting your personal life as entertainment.
Always say less than necessary. Very kind of common sense law. And the idea is that if you're in a meeting with people, that man or woman who talks less generally has an aura of power.
I think people are so brainwashed. You get up in the morning, you click on the computer, you see all these pictures, and it's all you think of is the picture and the image that you see all day, every day, and you don't see the human form.
They seem enigmatic, mysterious. And when they do something, say something, everybody's hanging on their words. What did that mean? What did it say? Whereas people who talk a lot give the impression that they're weak. They signal weakness. They can't control themselves. So they can't control themselves. How can they control anything in the business world, right? So
when Nina Simone put out music, you loved her voice. That's what she wanted you to love. That was her instrument. But you didn't get brainwashed by her day-to-day life and what her child is wearing and who she's dating and, you know, all the things that really, it's not your business.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel, Kareen Allude, where we talk about everything, and I'm Kareen Allude. So let's get right into the video. I want to talk about why it's important to keep your life private, specifically your dating life, your financial life, even your spiritual life. You want to keep everything private. Why do you say? First of all, I was never really the private person growing up. I used to have so many friends, associates, and I was in all their face, ready to open up and be this person. And as I started getting older, I started to see the danger in that, and how having too many people in your life and having your whole life exposed and put out there can lead to so much unnecessary issues, drama, etc. That is just not worth it, specifically if you're a lady. There are 3 reasons why you should keep your life private. Number 1 reason, keeping your dating life private while you are dating will help you to attract the right person. We all know in the world that we unfortunately live in, there is sexism. So men get away with a lot more than a woman can. Where you'd have a man be praised for dating multiple women, sleeping with them, doing all of that, etc. It is a whole different ball game if you are a woman, okay? Let's just keep it real. If you have a guy who dated 5 women in that same year, and then you have a woman who dated 5 men in that same year, no one would see the issue with the man, but everyone would see the issue with the woman. Even if he slept with them and she did not, she just went on dates and was dating, like trying to build a relationship, etc., she would still be seen as somebody who is easy, who likes male attention, etc., while he would be seen as my ninja. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of life. That's just how things are. Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter, who dated several men in 1 year, she's getting called every name in the book. And to me, it's an unfairness that we can just never address. But unfortunately, that's just how things are. And if you want to be a woman of substance and you want to gain your respect, you want to keep your future open as far as the men that are available to you, there's just some rules you're going to have to follow. This is not even specifically a video to teach you how to attract the right man, not that. This is just a video for those who do plan to have a future. You do plan to get married and have children and be a woman of substance, a woman that is respected, a woman of quality. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give you a couple celebrity examples I always go by to make this for you. I will always go back to Beyonce. Beyonce has a level of respect that most celebrities in her genre just does not have, because she has mastered the key and the gem of privacy. Like, she's out there, you know, you could still be someone out there. Like, she's out there in her performance outfits, dipping it, doing it, you know what I'm saying? She's out there, but her life is still private. She speaks to her fans, she interacts in social settings, like they have brunch at their house, they do this, but you rarely hear Beyonce speaking on a topic, giving her opinion, although she puts it in her music. She puts all her opinion in her music. It's really rare to see that, and you before Jay-Z, you didn't hear about Beyonce just dating around, doing all that stuff, to where she's just seen as a respectable woman. So I will always go back to her. I will always go back to women like Halle Berry, whom we also respect, etc., and give you some examples of women that are out there that people don't really respect, and women who showcases themselves as this woman that has the pretense of a respectable woman, but is always speaking her business, always participating in activities that we call, not very ladylike activities, and broadcasting it. That kind of man is the man that tends to be more interested in you. There are exceptions to the rule, again, I say, but not every exception is the rule. Second reason why you should keep your life private. You never want to appear, I say keep your life private, whether it's your home, it's your finances, etc. Why I say this with home and finance, you might say, but I want to motivate others. When I post my car on social media that I just bought, the fact that I bought a new home, I'm trying to motivate others and let them know that they can do it too. Yes, it's all good. But let's give an example with Kim Kardashian, where she was posting her kids' playroom and just the grandeur of it. And Kylie was posting her daughter's playhouse. I saw so many comments like, okay, we get it, you have money, all right, great. Like, there was a lot of haters under the comment who didn't take well to them broadcasting and oversharing their wealth. And it does seem like a lot of celebrities do that. They overshare their wealth. You get rappers, unfortunately, who are getting robbed. You have Pop Smoke recently, may he rest in peace, who we don't know the situation, but allegedly they're claiming that because he was broadcasting all his wealth, rappers are always wearing these chains, these golds, and then you have women like even Kim K with the ring when she was in Paris, and they came and tried to kidnap her. Well, they came to steal the ring from her, etc. It's just broadcasting your wealth, wearing it on you all the time. It's not necessary. You see simple men like Steve Jobs, Barack Obama, Zuckerberg, many other, like the richest men, the wealthiest men, but you see them, they're never wearing big jewelry, big flashy outfits, doing that. They just don't do that. Their wives even are simple. They always marry these simple women who literally are not decked out, wearing jewelry on every wrist, etc. It's just they opt into that. Not saying that you can't be glamorous, you can't be, like Michelle Obama will wear her makeup, she will wear her nice dresses, look very simple, but she's not overdoing it with the Birkin bag. And, these people, Michelle Obama, Beyonce, they all travel way more than these Instagram models. Okay, and you just don't see that's all they're posting. They all have access to, not granted to them by a man or by sponsorships, etc., access to the most luxurious cars, access to all the flyest outfits, but you don't see them broadcasting that. Their outfits are always just very, subtle, and if they have a little flash, okay, but it's always an air of, like, real wealth doesn't need to flaunt it. There's been many stories, like that lady down in Florida, I can't remember the news story for my life, but she had just graduated, bought a home, was broadcasting that she did one big post, just grateful for the year that she bought a home, graduated, and then boom, she died that same day.
He just didn't take to be what I thought he was. I know, I just can't describe what I'm feeling right now. That's it.
The case was wildly talked about given the nature and her social media posts about her rise from homelessness to six figures. Yuri Jenkins' attorney told us today his client was a barber.
That's what he was doing initially, he was cutting hair in the garage that night.
Makeva's family overcome with emotion outside the courtroom today.
It was just, whoa. But, why are you attracting that envy, that jealousy? You don't want to be that woman that every other woman feel like they just cannot relate to. You're up here, especially if you're hanging with some friends. Like, I have friends from all walks of life. I am blessed, and I know I don't have it all, but the Lord blesses me. I don't want to be that woman that I'm around other women that they want to have some of the things that I have, and I'm just constantly throwing it in their face that I have this, I have that. which is why sometimes I even advise my friends, hey, when you first get your house or when you first purchase your business, keep it to yourself. Don't invite everyone in. Not everyone needs to know the kind of wealth you have or that you're building. Keep it to yourself, because you will have even people in your circle watching what you have so they can get it first. If you say, hey, I plan to get this kind of car, or I plan to get a 3-story home, whatever, you have those friends that will have that competitive nature and want to get it first and do this. Like, it just creates a lot. So keeping your stuff to yourself and then just showing up like, hey, yes, I got it, thank you. It's the best way to do things. Now, if you have your best friend, that's different. I'm not saying from your closest friends and your family, not all your family now, because not every family wants the best for you. But, you know, you keep your inner circle small and you do your things small. Last point, so I can wrap it up, why you want to keep your life private. It's the air of mystery. As you see, have you ever seen a person online? They're so appealing and so glamorous and mysterious until you hear them talk and give their opinion too much. I can think of so many examples that even the Instagram models, you see, they look so, everybody's watching them until they begin to open their mouth and you begin to know their life. Like, oh, you were doing drugs or you were doing that, and that appeal is just lost. And then you say she belonged to the streets. That's what the young people say. But there's a lot of people that looks very enticing until they begin to speak too much and give their opinion too much on issues. I'm not saying never give your opinion, but again, I say, I feel like there's opinions that are just meant for your friends, your real close friends. But in general, in social media, in society, you do not just speak like that. Like my dad used to always tell me, you don't speak politics with people you just met. You don't speak, there's certain religion, and you don't speak, I can forget the third one, but like your future desires like that, just right off the bat to someone. Even when you're dating women, like those are first date questions. You want to know what you're getting yourself in, but it's not interview style. If you guys want a video on how to properly date as well, like that first line of communication, you can comment below. I'll give you some tips on that. There's some things you just do not talk about in public. And I see a lot of women constantly giving their opinion on things. And it's like, ooh, child, and they'd be loud and wrong. And it just creates that air of mystery is gone. The less you speak, the less people are able to read what is going on in your mind. What are you thinking? You have the upper hand in that situation, okay? It's okay. Like I always say, if I'm in a social setting, this is how I used to be and this is how I'm going to be now. I'm in a social setting. Every conversation will be light and joyful. It will not be no intense, heavy conversation, because when you let your guard down and you become that person that's always speaking that intense conversations and stuff, you'll have people that won't receive that well. They won't receive that well, and your character would be on the line. I've been in situations where I've opened up to people really quickly and felt like, oh, we here, we can talk freely and do this. And it has bitten me in the butt where people will be like, oh, why she always got to comment on this, or she always da-da-da-da. Keep your opinion to yourself. What you know, let it be what you know. Everybody else don't need to know what you know all the time. Even Barack Obama had a very diplomatic way of addressing very controversial issues. If you are going to address very controversial issues, there is very diplomatic ways to address those. I can do a video on that as well. Comment below if you want to know that, because a lot of us are in situations where we have to give our opinion on things, like even like in settings and conversations, even at work where I work and stuff, and in my line of work, even like with YouTube, I have to be very diplomatic in the way I give my opinion, and I have to watch how I talk and say things as to not offend people. And there will always be people that are offended. You can never please everyone, but you don't want to offend so many people that it hinders your success, you know. And I'm not growing in subscribers, I'm not doing this. You want to give your opinion, stay true to yourself, but be respectful to everyone, and then monitor just how much you are saying, because not everything needs to be said. That's just the rule of femininity. Now, when men see that, you make men chase you.
If you're always going after the other person, if you're always the pursuer, etc., they start to take you for granted. Sure. You're always the one calling and texting, you're in their face constantly, thinking that that's the way to make them love you, take you for granted.
Like if you're not always talking, yapping in a room, you running around, showing people who you are, dancing, doing all that, you will have the man be more interested in one. I wonder what she's thinking about, what's in her head. Let me go and talk to her.
Yeah, they think you're so familiar, they have you wrapped around your finger a little bit. And unconsciously, they lose a bit of respect. They may not say it, but it'll come out in their behavior. And over time, you know, the spell of love will kind of diminish.
You know, she's talking, but she's always very, you know, in the corner. When she gives her opinion, she doesn't just talk, she thinks about what she's saying before she says it. You allow the person the opportunity to just be intrigued by you.
So you want to step back, you want to create some distance, some absence, and you want to make them come to you instead of you going to them. If you make them take a move towards you, then the game is reversed, the dynamic is reversed.
That's just something that is not, you're not gonna wake up tomorrow with all of these skills mastered. These are things that you just have to literally, things that you have to practice, that should be practiced. It is something that I'm practicing myself, I'm trying to master. Let's hold each other accountable with these tips. Please comment below if I missed any tips. What tips do you have? Share with your fellow sisters. Comment whether you agree or disagree. I love it all. Let's just keep it respectful. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.